Live from clickorlando.com, News 6 Plus, and WKMG. We're getting results in your neighborhood now at 6:30 p.m.
Good evening. This is News 6 at 6:30, getting results. Thank you for joining us here live on News 6 Plus. I'm Ginger Gadsden.
And I'm Justin Mormouth. We have some storms firing up, so we do want to start with the weather right now. Meteorologist Jonathan Kega is pinpointing where those storms are.
Hey guys, yeah, we're watching things winding down in parts of Volusia County, but you see this dark green box that just popped up just south of Orange City. That is a flood warning that's going to be in play for us around Deltona in Orange City for the next hour or so. This goes until about 7:30. I want to turn on the rainfall estimates over the past few hours here. And again, this is one of the reasons why we are dealing with that flood warning. This is over the past 6 hours. I'm going to take my dabber up at the top of the screen, and we're going to do some estimating here. Right there in the bullseye where you're seeing the red start to pop up, that's where we've had almost 4 to 5 inches of rain in just a few hours. Again, zooming things out, you see the rain has been sporadic. We'll go ahead and turn the radar picture back on here, working out of the Melbourne radar, and we'll show you where these storms are going. Again, most of the heavy stuff now is pushing back towards the I-75 corridor, so the villages, we do have a few thunderstorms coming back into the pipeline, but there you go, right along I-75 pretty much. If you were driving from about the villages getting onto I-75 down through about Bushnell or Nobleton, you're going to have a very, very tough drive. That rain is coming down very heavy, so you might want to give yourself maybe about 20 to 30 minutes if you were planning on leaving the house and going down I-75 right now. We're going to talk about where these storms are headed coming up and when more storms fire back up for tomorrow coming up in about 15 minutes.
See you then. Thank you, Jonathan. Well, we may be heading into fall, but drownings can happen anytime here in Florida. Seminole County's fire department has had its share of concerns, and that's why they want to do everything they can to prevent these tragedies from happening in the first place. The CDC says from 2019 to 2021, Florida was ranked the highest in the U.S. for unintentional drowning deaths among children ages 1 to 4. News 6's Catherine Silver is in Seminole County, where firefighters invited us to see some of their training firsthand.
One of the ways our first responders stay prepared for emergencies is by training for them. And since drowning is the leading cause of death for children in Florida, ages 1 through 4, training for our first responders here in Seminole County is critical. So is education to prevent drownings. I'm going to take you inside to see how they're getting results.
You guys are the boots on the ground and you're out in the community.
More than 200 first responders will learn these lessons this week, and it's all paid for by a $194,000 grant. $40,000 was earmarked specifically for this. You hope they take this knowledge and use it in the real world.
Absolutely.
David Wiggins works with Swim Life.
One of the things that caught our attention is that code enforcement is a part of this.
Well, they bring the relationship in the community and being able to enforce the broken fences, the murky pools, the improper pool filters. They're able to bring those things to light and work with the homeowner to resolve those issues.
And these are things that are, I'm sure, all over our community. We live in Florida.
Absolutely. Pools, I mean, you've got retention ponds, these inflatable pools that people blow up in their backyards. The athletes that are using these ice baths that they keep them full of water and then add ice to them, those are all drowning hazards. I mean, a child can drown in 2 inches of water.
We talk about this every year, yet we continue to see things happen. What have you all experienced this summer?
Just the first opening weekend of summer, we had 4 drownings here in Central Florida, 2 in Seminole County, Winter Park, and Maitland. Fortunately, those outcomes were good, but we do see a cycle every year.
Barriers do provide layers of protection.
We go to these calls. A lot of it is reactive to the 911 call itself, but if we go to a non-drowning situation, we're there just for a regular medical, you know, we're the front line, the eyes and ears that are there.
What did you hear today that you think will be the most beneficial?
Being a proactive voice. You know, if we see something, you know, don't let just sit it by the side. Go out there and talk to the parents, have that conversation with them, say, hey, you know, this is a great setup, however, this can be done better.
And if they can be part of that prevention, they'll do everything they can to get results that are real and tangible. Part of the grant also paid for things like pool alarms and swim lessons. If you think you could benefit from that, you should reach out. In Seminole County, I'm Catherine Silver, getting results, News 6.
Developing tonight, the Orange County woman accused of leaving her boyfriend to die in a suitcase appeared in court for the first time alongside her new attorney. James Owen says he'll now represent Boone in trial next month, despite her going through nearly a dozen public defenders over the last few years. Sarah Boone is accused of leaving her boyfriend George Torres Jr. to die in a suitcase back in 2020. Last week, Owens filed a motion asking for a delay, saying he plans to use battered spouse syndrome as a defense and needs more time to prepare, but the judge denied his request for delay.
She's been sitting in jail for a while. She's looking for her day in court, and we all want justice to be served. You know, I'm a criminal defense lawyer. I've been doing it a long time. The state has the burden of proof. They have to prove their case. I know there's some strong evidence in the case.
The judge told both the state and the defense that he'll discuss more during Boone's pretrial hearing at the end of this month. The trial date is set for October 7th.
A Marion County organization is working to provide more resources for those who are experiencing homelessness. It's called Wear Gloves, and it helps people break the cycle by giving them jobs on their campus, life skills, training, and will soon have a 60-bed shelter for people who need housing. News 6's Emily McLeod was in Ocala today and tells us about the new shelter and when people could start moving in.
At Wear Gloves, we do three things. We have our Dignity Center, we have Dignity Roasters Coffee, and we now have the Dignity House Shelter.
Wendy Cabertal is the executive director and co-founder of Wear Gloves.
Thanks for being here doing this.
The group helps people out of poverty and break the cycles of trauma through its dignity, not dependency approach by providing job opportunities and life skills training.
Wear Gloves is the name of the nonprofit, but we're primarily a job training and workforce readiness training program for homeless and distressed folks in our community.
Wear Gloves has been helping people since 2009. The organization's latest edition will be a 60-bed shelter open to both men and women.
We knew that this was a service that we needed to add here so that we can really see people moving forward.
According to Marion County's point-in-time count for 2024, there were 154 unsheltered men compared to 47 unsheltered women.
We have a lot of service providers for women and domestic violence survivors and children. But for our single men in our community, we're hoping to kind of fill that gap.
Melissa Abney will be the manager of the Dignity House Shelter. As a former client herself, this mission is personal.
For the last 15 years, I was homeless, addicted to drugs, and living out on the streets. 3.5 years ago, I was living in a crack house. I'm a convicted violent felon. And then on September 27th of 2020, I'm coming up on my 4-year date.
Congratulations.
I went into a 72-hour detox. And when I came out, by the grace of God, I found Wear Gloves. I was asked not long ago, 2 weeks ago, if I would pick my daughter and my grandchildren up from the airport. I used to be the last person called, now I'm the first. And that's the change it's made for me.
The Wear Gloves Dignity House Shelter is expected to open summer 2025 once renovations are complete and will welcome 12 residents in its first year. In Marion County, Emily McLeod, Getting Results, News 6.
Well, some people could just really use a second chance.
I love a second chance when it works out in the favor.
Exactly,
wow, good for her.
Well, News 6 is once again hitting the road. Did you miss us?
Well, you won't have to wait very much longer for the next live special. This time we're going to Brevard County. All right, so it's been a couple months since you've seen us hit the road, but we are back and we are better than ever. So far, we've been to East Orange County, we went to Sanford, Montverde, and then the Kissimmee, St. Cloud area. And then in July, we celebrated the 4th with fireworks at the fountain. And that was our most recent Hits the Road stop in downtown Orlando. So now, after a short break, we are continuing this quest and we are coming to the city of Melbourne. Before we bring you the news from there later this month, we do want to know which stories you'd like us to cover. If you live there, what would you like to see highlighted in your community? Are there any problems we can help get results for you? Tell us about the good, the bad, the ugly. Just head to clickorlando.com/hitstheroad and fill out the form.
Are these your old stomping grounds?
I lived close to Melbourne, yeah. I mean, I lived in Satellite Beach, and then
Okay.
you just go over the Pineda Causeway and boom, you're in Melbourne. So yeah, I love that
right
area.
there. All right. Well, sometimes a traditional classroom setting is not the best learning environment.
And that's why a change of scenery can be beneficial. The location of one that's special to Central Florida and how it's getting results for students.
And speaking of school, they're Little League World Series champions. Have you heard? But they're also in middle school. That's right. And 2 of them just had their first day of school. We'll show you how it all went.
You're watching News 6 at 6:30 live on News 6 Plus. We're getting results for all of Central Florida, and we'll be right back.
Brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
Your Tuesday evening traffic alert. The holiday is over, so get ready to get back to normal out here overnight. 417 out in the Lake Nona area, we will see some construction, and it's not anything different. We've been seeing this stuff for quite some time. Also, 429 in the Florida Turnpike interchange. Some ramps will be closed overnight, not all night, all the time. This is why you need to make sure you're paying attention to the signages out there, because when the ramp is closed, they're going to let you know, and the detour will be there. I'm Trooper Steve with your News 6 traffic alert. Drive safely. I'll catch you in the morning.
All right, here's a live look now from the Daytona Toyota DeLand Kia camera out Daytona Beach. Sun is setting. Got some storms elsewhere around Central Florida.
Meteorologist Jonathan Kegas joins us now to talk about that. Not only storms, but the heat is still hanging in there.
I know, a couple more weeks, and then maybe we'll get our first cold front coming through.
Don't get our hopes up.
Someone who I live with keeps saying to me that it feels I can feel or smell fall. I'm like,
Zoe?
No.
Is it the pumpkin spice at the Starbucks?
You gotta go away from like all the, you see all the decorations that are out, in the stores.
Right.
I go, it's not here yet.
No.
Okay. Now,
too soon.
There is a big cold front coming. It's likely going to go to the Panhandle, so maybe drive up to Pensacola. You'll get into the 50s.
Yeah, we gotta go meet it.
You gotta, right. It's not coming to visit us just yet, but you have to just.
It's in the States.
It's close. Yeah. It's close. That's later on into the week.
That's where we are. We got to drive to a cold front.
8 hours.
We're getting there. We're getting there. Right now, we are still locked into the summer pattern. We have some big-time thunderstorms. I want to show you the rainfall estimates over the past few hours. This is over the past 6 hours. About 4.5 inches of rain has fallen in and around Deltona, Orange City, and that's really over the past couple of hours that the radar is estimating there. You see some heavier rain as well for us in and around Altamont Springs, that darker yellow popping up. That's more than 2 inches of rain over the past couple of hours. Want to turn the radar back on for you as we take a look. We'll work out of the Melbourne radar, and that will show you where things are going. We'll zoom back out. I want to turn the play mode back on here, and that's where we're going to see the movement really from east to west over the next couple of hours. That will continue. The heaviest rain for us is working its way from the Villages right down the I-75 corridor, closer to Tampa, eventually into St. Petersburg. We still have some scattered showers around the Deltona area and for us into Palm Coast as well. Nonetheless, those are fizzling out, and we're going to see the rain start to die out as well right around Palm Coast and into the Bunnell area. We do have a flood warning continuing until 7:30 tonight. That continues for us around Orange City and into Deltona. Temperature-wise, right now, we're back to the middle 80s at Cape Canaveral, 90 degrees in Titusville. We're hanging around 79 degrees in Leesburg. Now here's a look at your pinpoint, accurate forecast.
Your forecast is sponsored by Florida Lottery.
Temperatures tonight going to dip back down into the upper 70s. After we get rid of all the storms that we have out there now, it'll turn quiet, but you do see all the green boxes on the screen. That's where we could have some ponding on the roadways, especially in poor drainage areas. By 8 o'clock tonight, all of this mess that you see on your screen right now likely going to be closer to the Gulf Coast of Florida. We will see that eventually fizzle out and push further to the west. So most of that, again, that you saw right through Central Florida, not going to be there. There's 4 or 5 o'clock on your Wednesday afternoon, a few more scattered storms popping up, and then pushing back to the Gulf of Mexico again. Very similar to what we saw tonight and the night before. That same pattern sticks around for the next couple of days. We're at 84 at the airport. That's a live look in downtown Orlando with our Light Orlando Delivering Hope Skycam. That breeze out of the east at about 10 to 15 miles an hour, with temperatures around 81 in Sanford, 84 degrees in Daytona Beach, heading back to around 90 degrees tomorrow. On the tropical front, we are pretty quiet. There are 3 areas highlighted, but they are struggling tonight, and that is a very good thing, of course. What was orange with that medium shot has been backed off even, now to a low chance for development over the next 7 days. Regardless, none of that at this point anyway, working its way into Florida's direction. Over the next 7 days locally, though, we're keeping our rain chances pretty high. 70% shot for storms tomorrow into Thursday, still staying elevated over the weekend, guys.
Yeah, looks like summer to me. Thanks, Jonathan. Well, when it comes to high school, a so-called traditional setting isn't always best for every student. Orange County Public Schools offers 9 alternative education options, including school-to-work targeted programs.
And you may have even walked right by one of those campuses and not even realized it's there. Julie Broughton takes us inside the Universal Education Center and shows us how it's getting results in our schools for 30 years.
As summer winds down, crowds at theme parks like Universal Orlando begin to thin. And just beyond attractions like the Rip Ride Rocket, tucked away on Universal's back lot.
All right, guys, don't forget, as part of Chapter 1,
is a unique partnership between Universal Orlando and Orange County Public Schools.
Yep. Sometimes when you're, walking to lunch, walking back to class from lunch, you'll just see the Hogwarts Express go by overhead. That was when it really hit me that I was here.
This is the Universal Education Center.
So all the rooms are decorated differently. This one is decorated after Hogwarts.
Lead teacher Jay Vedeska gave us a tour.
So this is our language arts class.
Okay, we like a theme.
Yes.
And explained how it works. You'll notice all of the students are wearing uniforms and name tags.
So at any given time, half of our students are working in the park, and then the other half come back here. So we have 2 sessions.
It's really exciting, actually. I'm called an afternoon student because the school splits the groups into 2. As an afternoon student, I work in the morning for 3 hours, my first 3 periods. I go to lunch, and then I start class at 11:45, get out at 2:45, go home.
Students from 13 OCPS high schools attend class and work here. They earn 3 credits for working while taking core classes like math, English, and science. Students also meet weekly with a mentor from Universal.
For example, Jericho. So he told his mentor he was interested in culinary and becoming a chef. So he worked turnstiles 1 year, and then he worked as a chef, as a cook in one of the restaurants the second time. Jericho's still here 5 years later.
Is that him?
Yep.
Nice.
Universal actually paid for him to go to culinary school, and now he's a chef at one of the restaurants.
That's great.
Vedeska says the program is ideal for students like Ella Ben, who says she struggled with focus while attending virtual school.
It is a smaller group of students. The teachers get to give us more attention, and we know them, so it makes us less scary. If we get things wrong or we need to ask questions, it's just a very safe, small little learning environment.
Any questions? We always joke, if you don't like teacher attention, work was good today, this is not the place for you. Because you have a small class and there's nowhere to hide. You can't not do your assignment because your teacher's sitting right next to you. Yeah, I like that. That's good. Cool.
Okay, so there's no downside there.
Sign me up.
Oh my
Yeah, if I was in
gosh.
high school, sign me up.
Why not? All right, so Volusia County's Marine Science Center is now closed and will not reopen for almost a year.
Yeah, it's undergoing some major renovations, which will also bring new experiences when it reopens. News 6's Molly Reed walked through today and explains what it's going to look like and offer in the future.
Volusia County is pouring over $5 million into renovations and additions to the Marine Science Center here, all with brand new exhibits. You'll get to see when they reopen in about 9 months, but it'll teach you more about the nature and animals here in Volusia County.
All of this was through ECHO grant, also the AARP, and also donations. A lot of these exhibits are going to provide are with tools that you can take home and make a difference in your backyard.
A new education building, working coral lab, living shoreline, and living reef exhibit. Manager Chad McAfee says these new additions will hopefully expand the center's impact on visitors.
Working Coral Lab will provide high school and college students with an opportunity to learn and research coral growth.
Encouraging the young minds to be marine biologists. The center will even build a replica of the sunken Lady Philomena with an aquarium visitors can walk through.
He was confiscated by the U.S. Customs and Border Patrol for smuggling cocaine into Miami.
Border Patrol gave the ship to Volusia County.
We were able to scuttle or sink the Lady Philomena about 13 miles offshore as one of our artificial reefs. Volusia County has one of the largest artificial reef programs in the southeastern United States.
Of course, this isn't just a learning center, but an animal hospital. That's what's happening behind these doors right here with the turtles. The animals will get upgrades too, with more space and a quarantine deck.
So when we open back up, we've got a lot of new things and a lot of new messages to help educate the public.
I'm told the animal hospital will stay open and will not close at all during these renovations. In Pond Inlet, I'm Molly Reed, getting results, News 6.
All right, so I don't know if you've heard, but it's been a busy month for the Lake Mary Little Leaguers, and Justin, you do know that.
Yeah,
firsthand.
I know that. Yeah, it's been a whirlwind for sure. And now, though, they're returning to their somewhat normal lives after becoming world champs. You know, kind of hard to do.
What does that look like?
But we will show you the last two players who made their return to school after a week of celebration. That's coming up in just 2 minutes.
Coming up in the morning, the debate over vacation rentals.
Yeah, where some say the rules about occupancy limits and parking are not being enforced and what they're calling on city leaders to do about it.
Plus your pinpoint weather and traffic every 10 minutes. We'll see you for News 6 Morning starting at 5 a.m.
All right, so the Lake Mary Little Leaguers may be world champions, but that does not mean they get out of going back to school.
Yeah, it's going to be a little different for these local celebs the rest of the school year. And News 6's Mark Lehman was there today as the last two World Series champs return to class.
We have some celebrities back on campus today.
It may be the third week of school at Greenwood Lakes Middle, but it's the first day back for the two biggest stars on campus.
How do you get back to reality after such a whirlwind summer?
I mean, you really can't. It's just like, it's not, now you're like a celebrity life.
JJ Feliciano and Landon Bono getting a hero's welcome this morning after the summer of their lives.
This is, instead of waking up and having fun, it's waking up and going to school.
You're gonna have to hit the books now, right?
Yes.
Not looking forward to that.
No.
But that celebrity life now comes with some responsibility.
The parade was awesome. So many people showed up, and to see the community and the support behind these boys was just amazing.
JJ and Landon's return is happening a few days after thousands flooded downtown Lake Mary to celebrate the Little League World Series victory.
Oh, the community has been amazing, like super overwhelming, but awesome. The support is great.
Each of the boys' parents telling us it's been a joy seeing the support from their hometown.
Yeah, are you worried about catching up?
I feel like since like we're Little League Series, we won it. I feel like the teachers are gonna help us more. So I feel like I'm not really worried about catching up that much.
And now it's time to catch up on some schoolwork, which shouldn't be a problem for these world champs.
And while there may be an adjustment period here at school for Landon and JJ, things really aren't slowing down for them. They both tell me they're getting ready for travel baseball in the fall, and that gets underway next month. In Lake Mary, Mark Lehman getting results, News 6.
Thank you, Mark. And if you'd like to see all the coverage from the parades from last week or any other coverage from their world title run, we have you covered. Just head to clickorlando.com and then search Lake Mary Little League to rewatch all of the exciting moments. Too many to count. When you play that many games and in a they all kind of mesh.
Here's what I want to say to you. It's been 3 weeks since we did this show together.
Yes.
But I feel like you've been with us the entire time. You've always been here. Honestly, you did such amazing work. It was like watching someone who I did not know do something that I fell in love with. Like I had no interest in it until you started reporting on it. And that's just the truth. And now it's like, oh my gosh, I'm asking you all these different questions.
Listen, I have
no
so
clue.
much information that I just never even was able to put out there, but thank you. I mean, yeah, it was by far, and I said it on air, it was by far the coolest thing I've ever covered, and it's going to be really hard to top. It was one of the also coolest things I've ever done just in life, because it was fun to sort of take the baseball playing hat off and just be there as a spectator and as someone who was just documenting their journey. And I thought that was a really cool aspect too. I don't know, I haven't really had time to find the exact words, but it was a blast, and I miss watching them play baseball, to be honest.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I'm like, where's my it? I'm like,
We miss you watching them play baseball.
Yeah, well,
because it was so
you didn't get
good.
to see a lot of it because there was. I'm
a lot
glad
of
the camera
baseball.
wasn't on my face at all times, like the parents, because
Yeah.
I was in it. I was in every game, just enjoying it, and
Well,
became
there's
such
an
a big
emotional
fan.
investment, and you could tell that you really bonded with those
Yeah.
boys, and that's a lifelong thing there. I said it several times. You're going to be invited to many graduations, weddings.
No.
Kids will be named after you.
They'll find someone else. They got to meet all the pros too while they were there. Anyway, it was a great time.
Awesome.
But yeah, 3 weeks since I've done this show. That's crazy.
Well, welcome back.
Thank you. Back to normal. Back to normal with the storms too, Jonathan. I got a nice break in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. It was like 70 a couple of days, like 70, 71.
You'd wear like long sleeve or a hoodie or something.
All day, yeah. And it was a nice change of pace.
Oh yeah, we had the weather forecast for Williamsport while you're up there. It was
Yeah.
like jealousy, 72 at first pitch.
Fine. It's fine.
Awesome stuff.
We'll get that for about a week coming up in December. That nice weather.
It's
and then
coming.
And then it's over.
It's coming eventually.
Yeah, that's all.
It's bound to happen. You can't stop it. You
No,
can't,
it's
can't
coming.
Stop the
It's
seasons.
coming. We're ready. Hey, thank you so much for watching News 6 at 6:30. Stream News 6 online anytime on our News 6 Plus Smart TV app.
We break news on clickorlando.com. We're going to see you back at 11. At least these two will. Hope you have a great night. Take care.